Good morning. Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at the XRP price action, along with the S&P 500 and the Sigma coin. So, confusing market as we continue our range here. So we have our initial impulse off the lows, correction that came through, and we were able to snipe this low with the Sigma group, where we have 160 million Sigma. You're getting the token gated Discord, and we were able to grab this quick return, go back to cash, and then start accumulating down in this region when we finally had our indicator flip. So if you want to have access to XRP along with a lot of other assets, then please jump on in to the Discord. So with that being said, we had our Iran scare news over the weekend. We had then had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move to the upside, which you can see right here. And so we have that impulsive move working its way up. And then from there, you have now a corrective structure playing out. And so the question is, did we already complete an ABC to the downside here, where we're now good to go, right? And that's an ABC. Or are we getting a larger corrective structure where we end up having another ABC to the upside and then another 5-wave move to the downside for a flat, right? So that's the question mark. As long as we defend this low. So this low right here ends up being 127 and change. So we really just want to make sure that we stay above that level. So currently with the community, we've been working through our stop loss management and placing that in there to see, just kind of what we have, just to make sure we don't have any cascading issues play out. So we don't know which of this is. So far, the good news is we have a higher low on the XRP's price action, right? And it's looking pretty, bullish overall. So the question is, can we get an impulse off of this low with a 3% down day or 3% down day across the crypto markets as we just chop? So that's definitely some intriguing things now happening. Now, jumping over to SPY, this is also the counter argument. So bullish count on XRP. Counter argument here on S&P 500 is we have a 5-wave move to the downside, an ABC up that we received yesterday and overnight. And now this morning, with a late close pullback and then a gap down, we now have the potential starting of an impulsive breakdown, okay? So we may still not be done with wave 1, right? There may just be wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go into a 5th right here, and then a bounce. So that's always on the cards and always on the table, so we'll be looking into that. Or this just becomes a cascading wave 3, and we have a fairly large loss off of the day, which could be as much as 2%. To the downside, so we could see this percentage fall and knock the S&P 500 down to the 663 level if this is in fact the open. So could accelerate pretty quickly, and ultimately this target would take us down to somewhere in this 645 region, and that would be the potential completion of this flat. So the question will be is if this starts happening in the overall larger market for the S&P 500, what are we going to see happening for XRP at this point? Oops, wrong one. There we go. XRP, we're going to get that cascading liquidation, and we just won't know until then. So jump into the Sigma Discord. We'll have lots of alerts, levels, and things that you can look into, and we can help you with that process. So finally, jumping over to the liquidity, I zoomed back into the 3-day. We have a ton of liquidity to the upside on the 2-week structure, but this lower time frames here, we got stuff all the way down into this 130s and 120s. Not as much up here on the shorter time frame, but the 2-week shows that we have plenty up here at $1.50 as this loads. And so looking at that, you could see that there's more demand or more potential for us to move higher up to this 150 now that we took out some more of the late longs here with this pullback. So definitely a curious puzzle at this point. And finally, Sigma coin is doing a wonderful structure, still fighting up against this inverted head and shoulders pattern or an Adam and Eve that I've seen also other people talk about. And you can see that we're setting a bull flag and then another bull flag on top of the bull flag, so maybe a cup and handle structure that we could expect. So price go higher, aka is what that means. So here's an example of that inverted head and shoulders. And you can see we come up and we tag it, we break down, we tag it again, we break down, we get on top of it, right? So we tag it, we break down, we tag it again, we break down, we get it up here, and we haven't yet gotten up on top of it. So we'd be seeing something like this, right, playing out here. And with that structure, then we get out of here, right? So this is still what we're looking for. We've been looking for it for a while, But here it is again. You can see that there's this rejection and a back up above the neckline, and this rejection, and we're trying to get back up above that neckline. So, all right, so we're getting close, guys. It's almost time, and I can see some great things happening, because after that happens, there's your price action, and after that happens, there's your price action. So Sigma's looking bullish. Liquidity says there's bullishness for XRP to the upside. Then you've got XRP on the short time frame holding higher lows with a potential wave 1, wave 2 completion, and this is now the wave 1, wave 2 of the next degree heading higher. But we've got ourselves an S&P 500 potentially setting up for a massive rollover of 2, with another potential move of a breakdown of 4.6% lower already from where we were before. So we will see how this cookie crumbles. All right, guys, we'll check in tomorrow. Thanks for watching.